Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Micah Frankel, and I am joined with the headliner of the biggest boxing event in New Mexico that I can remember. Angelo Leo, August 10th, top rank boxing, ESPN. This man looks to become a two-division world champion. Thank you for the time, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I'm ready to go. I can't wait for August 10th.
It's always a pleasure to get to talk to you. August 10th, you returned to New Mexico, and I believe it was like 2015 the last time you fought here. Does it feel that long for you?
It does, it does. I think a homecoming was long overdue, and what better way to do it than a world title fight in the same at the same time.
How often had you thrown out the idea to promoters of bringing you back here to New Mexico and having this homecoming?
Um, we it crossed. I mentioned it back when I was with Mayweather Promotions, but nothing really came to it. But it was actually Top Rank's idea to come out here for this fight. I know they take a liking to Albuquerque when Johnny used to fight out here, and they really like the crowd of Albuquerque and all that, so they decided to make it out here. And I was the vessel in that decision, and so here we are.
So were you a little bit surprised when the team gets that offer and you look and you see Albuquerque?
Yeah, I was a little surprised, because at first like they had ran it by me, like, what do you think of the fight in Albuquerque? And I was like, oh, that'd be pretty cool. And then next thing you know, they went through with it, and I was like, dang, this is a dream come true, to be honest, because I get a I get a homecoming, also with the world title fight. Um, one of dream locations that I've always wanted to fight was the Tingley Coliseum, and here we are, about to make history August 10th.
Big to see you come back. Do you get any of those reminiscent feelings during this camp of thinking about the convention center, thinking about 2015, hearkening back to, I believe you were in Golden Green that night and the last time you got to fight in front of this crowd? Have those thoughts and memories been coming back to you during this camp?
Not really, not really. Just um, I do miss fighting in Albuquerque. I do miss seeing all my family, all my friends, and all that. Um, hearing here at my fights, showing me support. But no, I just think it's another fight um in front of my hometown, really.
Has it felt like you've been the road team for the whole time you've been away, or was there a point there with Mayweather and in Vegas where you had that same hometown feeling that you got those early days fighting here?
Yeah, eventually, when I was fighting with Mayweather Promotions and I was fighting repeatedly in Vegas at Samstown Casino, I did gather up a nice little fan base out there and a lot of support. A lot of family and friends came down from Albuquerque, and they showed their support. So yeah, I was gaining a little fan base out there, especially 2018, 2019 when I was fighting out there a lot. But yeah, it does remind me a little bit. But I know in Albuquerque, I got tons of fans out here, so I'm excited for August 10th.
You feel like it's going to feel different than what you felt then over the last several fights? You've been making your name in this new weight class, separating yourself, taking on whatever challenge was offered to you, and now you get to have that kind of fanfare and crowd support behind you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this, and I'm just stoked just to be in this position right now.
Returning home, does it give you excitement? Does it add any extra pressure? Like, what are the internal feelings about coming back here?
It's a lot of excitement. Words can't really describe it. I just got to go in there, and one thing I got on my mind is to win that world title. And no pressure from the crowd. I don't. I tune out the crowd. I tune out the audience. I tune out the fans. When it gets down to it, all that matters to me is winning that IBF world title, and that's what I'm gonna do August 10th.
I also want to know how much it matters to you and how it feels when we go to that list and we say Bob Foster, Danny Romero, Johnny Tapia, Holly Holm, Austin Trout, Angelo Leo's name is on that list. Brian Mendoza also of world champions from New Mexico. What does that mean to you?
It means the world really, because you know, coming from a state like New Mexico, coming from a town like Albuquerque, you know, a lot of statistics, you know, show that a lot of us won't. There's a lot of talent here in Albuquerque, but we just don't got the opportunity, you know. And I was able to do that and make it out of there and become a world champion, and it feels really good, representing for my city.
You look back on what you did 2015, you were fighting here locally, and after that point, you said, I'm going to go take some really tough fights in Mexico. You make the move to Las Vegas. Like, you look back on what you've accomplished. Are you blown away at what you've done? Because it's truly amazing to see no stone left unturned, and you really did take a hard path that got to success.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it wasn't an easy task. You know, it wasn't an easy adventure either. I didn't have the luxury of other fighters where they got signed to a promoter really early on in the career. I didn't have the luxury of a manager. Um, so you know, we had to take the hard route. You know, punch our way through the rankings pretty much. And you know, but that's what it's about. That's what makes the journey fun. And here we are. You know, like they say, the cream always rises to the top. And I was a cream. You know, in the most humblest words. You know.
I'm sure that some point in your youth, there was a goals list. You wrote down goals, and are you surprised at how many of those you've been able to etch off at this point in your career?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think when I was younger, I always wanted to do it a little earlier, but here we are. You know, I'm in the prime of my career, looking to be a two-time champion, and I still got, you know, a few more years left in boxing. So, you know, it's getting there little by little.
What does it feel like to become a world champion that first time? What did it feel like to actually realize what was a major goal?
It was amazing. You know, it was something I dreamt of ever since I was a kid. You know, that was one of my dreams, is to become a world champion. And you know, that night, you know, it meant the world to me. It was everything. But like I said to other reporters, it wasn't the same feeling because it was during COVID. There was no crowd or anything like that. It was during the bubble, and you know, it was a little bittersweet just because I couldn't experience that in front of my fans, my friends and family, and all that. But you know, it's still my name is still in the history books as a world champion, and that's something that they can't take away from me, or I can't discredit myself for that. And you know, it feels great. It feels amazing. It's, you know, one of my dream come trues.
And it was such a high, the dream comes true. And from what it looks like on the outside, after you take this first loss, things kind of changed a lot in what was going on around you.
Yeah, yeah, they did. They definitely did. Yeah, I took the loss. It was a tough loss for me. You know, I was um, you know, depressed for like months. You know, then I got back to it. You know, I dust myself off, and I got back on the winning end of it with the win over Alameda, and then you know, we had a little hiccup with the promotions, and I wasn't able to fight for 2 years. I stayed busy in the gym and all that, but it was just a little frustrating not able to fight, you know, and not staying active. But you know, thank God I'm here with the Pro Box TV. They helped me out with the 3 fights in 5 months, and it made up for some lost time.
Don't want to glaze over it at all. You mentioned that you went through a bit of depression. What were you able to find in that time to help you get through it? What was the light to pull you out of that darkness?
I just the love for the sport of boxing. The love for the sport of boxing. When the smoke cleared, I figured out what what I did wrong, what did I need to work on, and I learned from it. That was the main thing. I learned from my losses, and I got back to it. That was the only thing that I could do. Is boxing is something that I love to do, and I just started going back to the gym, started training, and then they offered me the Alameda fight, and then we got back on the winning streak.
After that fight, after the 2 years off, you come back full weight class. What was the talk with the team? What was that decision like to move up?
That was really early on. After the Alameda fight, I think it, I had told my team like, this is the time. Like, I can't make 122 anymore. This is too hard. This is detrimental to my body, and I think it's time to move up to 126 and feel better at that weight than 122.
For people that don't do it or they're not around the scene of combat sports, like 4 pounds, what does 4 pounds matter? Like, tell us how much different does 4 pounds feel on the scale, not having to suck that out of your body?
Yeah, it's crazy. People underestimate those 4 pounds, but I like when I hit 126. I'm already kind of already uh lean on weight. Body fat is really low and all that. So when I go to 122, it's basically I'm just sucking up even more water, dehydrating myself even more, and it takes 2 days for me to lose 2 pounds. I mean, it takes 2 days to lose 4 pounds. So that'll tell you when in regular in when I regularly train, I lose 4 pounds in one session.
So, what is now the feeling like for you? How much different do you feel fight day at this weight compared to the old weight?
I feel a lot more energized, definitely more energized. More zip on my punches, things of that, things of that nature.
Now, when we see you August 10th, Tingley Coliseum, again, everybody, main event. If you can't be there live, ESPN, ESPN Plus will have it both. You're taking on Luis Alberto Lopez, another world title fight. This is to become a two-division world champion. And I've seen that there's about three different ranking bodies that have him as the number one featherweight in the world. What was it about attacking this belt and going after this opponent that intrigued you?
It's something that uh Venalo's manager had offered us, and of course, I was gonna take it. We had spoken to his name is Hector. That's Venalo's manager. We had spoken to him about a year ago. We had ran into him, me and my buddy of mine, and we had asked him if he would give us the opportunity to fight his fighter, Venalo Lopez, and he said, yeah, he would do that. Just get a few more fights, get yourself in the rankings, and then I did exactly that. Get myself in the rankings, and then before my last fight, he offered me the fight. I told him I had a fight coming up, and he said to get through him, and Venalo is yours. So I did exactly that, and here we are.
So you've been watching him, and I've seen he's also been willing to go on the road, willing to almost take on everyone to gain his respect. So do you still feel there's any similarities between the two paths that you two have taken to get to such a prominent spot?
Mm, not really, not really. His career path is a little different than mine. He had a little bit more of a faster track than I did. Um, he got his title shot uh, in in uh, in over there in England somewhere, and I got my title shot here in the U.S. So it's not too similar.
Do you see in him why some of those ranking bodies have him number one in the weight class?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I do. He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. I think he is the best featherweight in the division right now, and I can see why they have him in all the rankings.
Well, what is it particularly you feel that he does better than most guys?
Um, he's got good power. He's explosive. He knows how to win rounds.
And what do you do now to disrupt all that and be successful come August 10th?
You just everyone knows how I fight, you know. But I show a lot of glimpses of everything, you know. A lot of people see me box, a lot of people see me put pressure, throw a lot of punches, counter punches, or whatever it takes to get that win on August 10th. I'll be ready for it.
How much different does the camp look like for this one? Like you went on this journey now up a weight class, and we know this one's back here in New Mexico. So how much different does camp look?
It's a lot different, you know. It's a lot different. We definitely up the ante a lot in this camp. Um, you know, doing a lot of things that I haven't done in other previous camps, and we're just ready to go. You know, I feel good. I feel strong. The best shape of my life right now. Not never felt better. I know a lot of fighters. They always say that this is the best camp and all that, but this one really, I really, you know, took the time to focus on the details and really be consistent in all my training.
When you're at the level that you're at, like how dynamic is preparation for a game plan? Like, how much are you breaking down the fine points of what you're doing to find how you can clean it up even that much more?
You know, every time I'm in that gym, you know, it's I'm working on something. You know, I'm working on something. I'm tweaking things that I seen in sparring, and you know, it's an everyday deal right there.
How many other goals are there on the list now after we're looking at now attempting two division world champion?
Sky's the limit, you know, sky's the limit. I definitely want more belts, as much belts as I could possibly get. You know, that's the name of the game right there is to rack up those belts, possibly in a new division, if my body allows me to. But right now we're just focused on one thing, and that's to get that second world title. After that, we could worry about that another time.
Come August 10th, back in Albuquerque after the fight, after you're going to celebrate the success. What's the post-fight meal going to look like? Because I'm sure you haven't been able to indulge in what you've wanted in the last couple months.
Yeah, you know, I'll probably go for some pizza, probably some Dion's pizza. That'd be that'd be ideal for me. I love pizza, and maybe a nice steak.
See the Dion's. If you don't know, guys, that's Albuquerque. That's the Albuquerque answer right there for pizza. Angelo Leo, it's about time. It's good to see that you're having a fight back here, and we get to cheer on the success.
Thank you, thank you.
It's been a pleasure getting to talk to you. It's a pleasure getting to catch up with you. The fight's going to be here before we know it. Look forward to getting to see you in action. If they're not already, how should the fans be following you?
You guys can follow me on Instagram. That's the social media I'm most active in. Angelo X Leo. You get me on Facebook. Also, just look up my name, Angelo Leo, and that's about it. I'm not really much of a social media person, but you can find me on Instagram for sure.
Guys, get some shirts to help support what we're doing here at Cage Minds at ziaprince.com. And we got some energy drink for you from our partners at Dubby. 10% off at checkout with the code Cage Minds. We'll see you guys August 10th at Tingley Coliseum.
New Mexico has a rich boxing history. Tapia versus Romero, Tapia versus Archuleta, Holm versus Cisneros, Torres versus Cabral. August 10th, the world will be watching. Hammer versus Diamond. Someone's O has to go. Abraham Perez, Matthew Griego, IBF USBA flyweight title. The Duke City Civil War. Get your tickets at etix.com.